Asset management is one of the most overlooked career paths in commercial real estate, but if you're looking for a job that combines technical work with relationship building and comes with a lot of job stability in the process, this is a part of the industry that's definitely worth considering. And in this video, I want to talk through what it's really like to work in real estate asset management based on my own personal experience and some key things to look out for if you decide to go this route. So to step back and start by defining real estate asset management, this is really the process of managing the performance of a real estate investment over time. And this is different from property management, which involves managing the day-to-day responsibilities of keeping a property operational, including managing small vendor requests, collecting rents, and often doing general bookkeeping tasks on behalf of the property owner. But as an asset manager, you'll be the one responsible for managing property management teams, along with things like making decisions related to major construction projects, negotiating commercial lease terms, putting together investor reports, and ultimately working to maximize the net operating income and the value of the properties in your portfolio. Now, the entry point into asset management is typically at the analyst level, where you'll be doing a lot of the back-end support to help make these decisions. And this means that you'll be doing things like reviewing historical operating statements, identifying opportunities to increase revenue or decrease expenses, and analyzing different leasing scenarios that might impact an investment long-term. These roles will also usually have you working on creating or maintaining financial models that track property performance over time, along with putting together monthly or quarterly reports for investors to communicate that information. Now, different companies have different titles within their asset management teams, but once you move up from the analyst level to an associate or even asset manager position, this is when you'll start to actually make the decisions that will directly impact property performance. At this level, you usually have your own portfolio of anywhere from between about 8 to 15 properties, depending on the size of the company that you're working for, and you'll be the one directly responsible for driving the business plan on these assets. And this means that you'll be spending a lot of your time working with leasing agents to manage occupancy levels, working with construction teams to oversee renovation projects, working with lenders and mortgage brokers to make financing decisions, and working with property management teams to maximize operating efficiency. Now, as you continue to progress in the asset management career path beyond this level, your day-to-day responsibilities start to move away from managing individual properties and start to center more around managing asset managers internally, and you may also start to get involved with fundraising efforts and shaping the overall strategy of a company. Asset managers at this level can make great money and are set up very well to transition into C-level roles that are heavily focused on operations, including titles like Chief Operating Officer, Chief Revenue Officer, or even CEO. If you consider yourself a natural leader of people, you don't mind the management of both real estate and individuals, and you want to have a direct part in shaping the strategy of a real estate firm over time, asset management could be a great career path to consider. Now, asset management involves some pretty different day-to-day responsibilities that you'd see in an acquisitions or investment sales role, so this is also something to consider when deciding where you want to go. And the first thing to be aware of is that unlike acquisitions or brokerage, we will typically only work on a deal for about 2 to 4 months at a time. In asset management, you'll be responsible for the same handful of properties for what's usually anywhere from about a 3 to 10 year time frame. And this can be a great thing for people who consider themselves natural operators and love to see projects through to completion, but this can also be a little bit boring for people who like the process of doing a variety of different deals and constantly working on something new. Another potential downside of this career path is that asset managers don't usually have the final say as far as what goes into their portfolio. So while you will usually have some interaction with your in-house acquisitions teams, you're typically not going to be the one that's actively selecting the deals you have to manage. And this can sometimes make things stressful and frustrating when you're trying to meet pro forma expectations that you may not have had a say in the first place, and having to answer investor questions related to why investment targets aren't being hit. Pay structures in asset management are also typically a lot more heavily weighted towards base salary versus bonuses or commissions like you might see in acquisitions or brokerage roles. So this is also something to think about depending on how you want to get paid. At the analyst level in acquisitions, bonuses will often come in anywhere from about 20% to 30% or more of base salary, and in investment sales roles, analysts might see bonuses or commission sharing of anywhere from between about 50 to 100% or more of their base pay. But at the analyst level in asset management, that bonus percentage is usually significantly lower, coming in somewhere between about 10 and 15% in most cases. And while this can increase to the 25% to 35% range as you move into more senior level roles, you typically won't see a bonus double or even triple your base pay like you might see in more transaction focused positions. Now, with that said, along with that cap and upside, you'll also usually see a lot less downside in asset management roles, with job stability in this part of the industry that's really hard to beat. And this means that when acquisitions teams are shrinking or brokers are seeing huge drops in their commission income when transaction activity slows, asset managers are a lot less likely to be laid off and a lot less likely to see big dips in their pay. Now, something else to know about the asset management career path is that depending on the size of the company that you're working for, travel can end up being a big part of your job. If you're managing properties in multiple different markets outside of where you're based, you're typically going to be expected to visit these properties regularly. And this is to make sure you can meet in person with local property management teams, general contractors, and leasing professionals, and also so you can tour the market on a regular basis to spot opportunities or major changes that might pose a risk to the company's portfolio. And the people who tend to be the most successful in these roles usually enjoy getting to know a city very well over time and building very deep relationships with people in a market over a number of years rather than a number of months, and don't mind visiting the same 2 to 3 cities on a monthly basis or even every other week. Ultimately, if you are someone who enjoys long-term strategic thinking and seeing a project through to completion, you like working with familiar faces in familiar places, and you're looking for more stability in your job than you'd see in brokerage or acquisitions, real estate asset management could be a great option for you to consider. And if you're trying to break into this part of the industry right now, and you want to make sure you have the skills you'll need to land interviews and pass an Excel modeling exam that might be given to you during the interview process, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Break Into CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Break Into CRE Analyst Certification exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and you want to see more content on the real estate asset management career path, make sure to hit the like button, let me know, and let me know in the comments what other parts of the industry you'd like to see covered like this in a future video on the channel. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.